Good evening and welcome to ClausenWorld. I just thought I would jump right into it today since I lost light yesterday. I am cleaning up the sweet potato vines like I said I was going to do yesterday, but was unable to do. As you see, I am just using the broom to get around and to pick up the sweet potato vines because I want to make sure that there aren't any surprises under there. There could be snakes because this could be a snake haven and I just don't like the surprises. I'm trying to make sure that I am maintaining this to where the plant itself is putting on tuber growth and not excessive leaf and vine growth. It's growing through the fence, so I am trying to take it out of the fence to be a good neighbor. I never want to interfere with my neighbor's space, so I'm just trying to make sure that I'm cleaning this up and that I get as many sweet potatoes as possible and not just a whole lot of vines. Hey guys, I am very guilty of not pulling out the camera and showing you guys some really vital information, especially for a lot of new subscribers, new gardeners, mainly new gardeners. I've seen and heard some people talk about, what do you do with old potted soil? Do you throw it away? And the answer to that question is no. You revitalize it. The pot that you're looking at right now is an old pot that I bought a tree in, and what I've been doing was going through the garden because fall is upon us here in about a week or two, and I've been taking those old pots, taking the soil out and revitalizing it. I've been putting fertilizer in it. You know, I use Biotone, I use perlite, I use vermiculite, and I use coconut coir. I almost lost my train of thought there for a second. And so all I do is I mix that old soil up with that coconut coir, that perlite, that vermiculite, that plant tone, and I reuse it in the garden. And here I am right here mixing it up. All I do is put it in my very old, very well-loved bucket, and I just mix it up. I even actually put a little bit of black cow because I found I still had some black cow. I forgot that I had found a bag for $1, a busted bag at the big box store, and it was sitting off in the corner. It was all busted up. It was, I believe, a 1 cubic feet bag. It wasn't a full bag, but it was full enough that only a little bit of the black cow had spilled out. So I asked for a plastic bag to put that bag in, and I just covered it up, took it to the register, and the lady gave it to me for $1. So don't shy away from those busted bags, everybody, especially when you're trying to save a little bit of money. Those busted bags could save you a great deal because black cow, I can't remember exactly the price. I will put a description in the box below. I'll let you know how much a full price of black cow costs, but I do know the compost or this garden soil that I had been purchasing earlier in the year is like $7 and some change per bag, and I was able to find a busted bag of that as well. It was a 1 cubic foot of bag, but that's okay. I normally pick up the 2 cubic feet, but I didn't need a lot, and that also, because it was busted open, was $1. And so again, all I do is just take that spent soil that was used in another pot. I add perlite, I add vermiculite, I add that black cow, I add some plant tone, and you have now nice soil that you could use in another pot. So stretch your soil, guys. Don't just go throwing things away. If you have a pot that you bought from the store, this is just a pot that I got with another plant in it. Don't throw that soil away if that annual dies. Refurbish that soil, and you will end up saving a lot of money that way. It's been a busy day in the garden today, and now I'm moved on to planting. Sorry about that, guys. I've moved on to planting some more garlic. I hope you guys can see what I'm doing. I've just lifted up the tool just a little bit just to get some garlic in here. I've already placed it in other places in the garden. In this pot, I've got red mustard seed. I have some spinach, some collard greens. Did I say red mustard seed? Red mustard greens. Did I say that? My mind is battling mosquitoes. Sorry about that, everybody. But yes, I've got collard greens. I have red mustards. I've got bok choy, pak choy. I have some kohlrabi here in this bucket. Just a mix of different brassicas, which is one of the reasons why I have this tool, because I don't want the bugs to have at my lovely brassicas. So I'm just popping in as many garlics as I think I have space for, and I'm hoping that I'm not disturbing anything else, because if you've watched any of my previous videos, you know that I companion plant, and I just kind of put as much as I possibly can in the space, because I'm a potted patio garden and space is at a premium. So I do what I can with what I have. So, all right, I think that might be it. I think I have placed garlic in as many locations as I have space for right now. So I am going to water in and call it a night. And since you guys have seen me water in before, there is no need for me to have you watch me water anything in. And it looks like I might have even put some onions in here. I see some onions popping up, so I'm hoping I didn't disturb too much, because like I said, I tend to spread as much as I can in and around my beds. And now I see onion popping up, because I tend to forget what I put in and where I put in it. And every once in a blue moon, I will accidentally disturb something that I didn't intend to disturb, because I tend to forget where I put it. And if it's not popping up fast enough, I'm like, there must not be something in that pot. But yes, alas, there is indeed something in the pot. And it looks like I've got some tiny itty bitty onions popping up. So I might have disturbed some onions unintentionally. Oh, but that's okay. And I'm going to actually do a little bit of harvesting. I'm not going to do it right now, because I still have some garlic left to put in the garden. So I'm going to find a place for the rest of these, and then I'll probably do a little bit of harvesting and have me some fresh greens for dinner. So that's going to be it for me tonight, everybody. Oh, you know what? No, I have one more thing that I want to show you guys. So let me find a place for this garlic, and I want to show you most definitely the last activity tonight. And then that's it for me. So I'll be right back. This is my moringa tree. It is roughly 3.5 feet tall. No, almost. It's roughly about 4 feet tall, I would suspect. I would say maybe 4 feet tall. But it's been raining off and on, and it's gotten a little more water than it likes, so the leaves have turned yellow. But if you can see, it looks like a stick. Can you see that? Just not pleasing at all. And I don't want it to continue to grow to be just a tall stick. I want it to bush out. So what I'm going to do is I am going to top it. I was called out by another YouTuber, and I'm not going to say his name. I have been watching his videos. What I can say is he lives in Georgia, and I've been watching a number of his videos, and he sent me a message and says, hey, when are you going to top your, and I'm paraphrasing, but basically he wanted to know when I was going to top my moringa, and make sure that when I do top it, that I video it. And I actually did not have plans on doing that. So since I was so kindly called out, I'm going to go ahead on and top this moringa. And I'm just trying to figure out where I want to do that, since it is so tall and lanky. But I am not going to, I think I'm going to take it down by half, to be completely honest. Let me see if you guys can see exactly where I'm going to trim it. I'm going to go down a little bit like that. I'm going to trim it right in here. Can you guys see that? Right in here is where I'm going to trim it. So I'm going to move you guys down just a little bit. Let's go downtown. Ooh. Going downtown. All right, I'm going to top this right about half. And I am actually going to take off the yellowing leaves. And let's see. Yeah, that's about where I want to do it. So I am going to take this and I'm going to cut it at an angle. And I've already cleaned off my shears because I've been cutting a lot of things this evening. So I'm going to cut this at an angle, and I hope you guys can see. Just like that. That way, if, I tried to sharpen my shears earlier today, but apparently I didn't do a good enough job. Or because I've been cutting so much, they dull a little bit. So I'm going to take that piece right there, take it off. And I'm going to put just a little bit of, let me see if you guys can see. I'm going to move you downtown just a little bit more so you guys can see the pot. Yeah, there we go. Now I am going to actually not discard. Can you guys see? I'm not going to discard that moringa. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in this pot. And I know you guys are like, man, you put an awful lot in that pot. Yeah, I am. I'm not ready for my moringa to go in the ground. And so, ooh, I got a little baby one right there. Look at that. I thought the one right there had died. Nice. So lovely. So these are tiny. I'm going to leave these alone. I'm just going to clean it up a little bit. There we go. And I'm looking in the pot to see where a good place would be to pop this other one in. And also the wind. The wind has been just treacherous, you guys. The rain, the wind, and it has really given both of the moringas a run for their money. Now, even though I don't need to fertilize the moringa, I am going to put just a little bit of fertilizer in that hole and just kind of mix it around a little bit. All right, I'm going to take the piece that I cut off, as well as my rooting hormone. Now, you don't need rooting hormone. Moringas are amazing. You just stick them in the ground and they will grow. But I want to give this every opportunity because this is my first experience with moringa this year. If you all watch my previous videos, you know that I mentioned that I had trouble germinating my moringa, and I'm actually going to just disrupt this bark some, just a little bit, and especially right up under where I took that leaf off, right at that node. And I am going to put some rooting hormone on my moringa. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit. Just gonna do that. Get some rooting hormone on it because I wanted to have the best possible opportunity to root, because it does sit down a really long tap root. And let's see, and I'm just gonna get it in there. And you know what, I left my pencil in the house. You guys know that I always use my pencil. There we go, but that's okay. This time I'm not going to use the pencil, and I'm just going to take that and mush the mulch around it. And I'm just going to give that tiny little bitty new moringa tree just a smidgen of water because I just put it in there. And I want to make sure that the soil is, and the soil was moist. The soil isn't too wet, but I'm going to put a tiny bit of moisture in there. just to make sure that it's watered in. And I actually like it being full like that with all those tiny little moringas. So I was going to take off my leaves, but I'm not ready to harvest my leaves yet. I'm waiting for a mat to go inside of my dehydrator so that when my leaves dry up, they don't fall all the way to the bottom, and my mat isn't here yet. So I'm going to just leave this like that. But this was what I wanted to show you guys. I wanted to show you that I had a roughly 4-foot tall moringa, and I have just topped it. There it is. I have just topped it, and I'm actually going to move it so you guys can get a better view of it. I'm going to move my sister's. I'm just going to push that one out the way, and this way you can just see this one's mine right there. And so I'm going to leave that as it is. And I actually moved it because it has been raining so much and some of the leaves have been turning yellow, and I moved it up under the umbrella. That way it is not getting as much rain. So even though it looks a little weary right now, moringas are pretty hardy. They can withstand a lot of different types of soils, and as long as they're in warm climate, they're okay. So I'm not going to fuss about that so much, but that's it for me today, everybody. I am going to give this just a tiny bit of water, and I'm going to finish cleaning up, and I'm going to call it a day, because it's actually feeling a little bit cooler than normal this evening, and they are talking about the possibility of some more rain in the forecast. So I'm just going to get cleaned up, and I'll see you guys in the next video, and I will be showing you a few more updates like the AirLayer, as well as how this moringa is doing. Happy gardening day, everybody. I was going to give these moringa a little while longer, several more weeks on the plant, on the mother plant, but I keep watching it, and I hope you guys can see how these lower leaves are beginning to exhibit signs like they need water in the worst way. Now there are roots in the chili dog or burrito or whatever you want to call it, and so I'm going to take them. I'm going to take the chance, and I'm just going to take these, pot them up, give them a really good water, and hope for the best, because I don't like how these lower limbs are looking. And so I want to give it the best possible opportunity. And in my mind, that means just take it. And you know what? If it doesn't work out, I have a huge wisteria right here. I can always try again. All right, so I have my shears, and I am going to go below, and I'm going to cut it at an angle. And I hope you guys can see. Now I did try again to sharpen my shears today. Look at that. Yes, baby. So that's good. All right, let me pull this baby out of there. That's one. And let me grab the other one. Let's see. Now I did check on this, and I have been keeping an eye on it, like I said. And those ants, those tiny little bitty ants, which I think are sugar ants, were still roaming around. So they're going to be evicted today. I don't want to fool with this any longer. I don't want to take the chance that it is not going to survive. So I am going to, first of all, smash all the ants that I see. Sorry if you're an ant lover and you feel like that shouldn't be what I'm doing, but my plant, and they have to go. So again, I'm going to cut this at an angle so the water won't get into it and harm it. Oh wow, this one's really hard. Hang on, let's see. Let's try this again. Got to put my backbone in that one. All right. And that one didn't fall to the ground. I actually have a plant that's right up under this one, and it just fell right into the pot. So let's go over to the table, and I'll show you guys what these look like. I I have been getting it in today. Lots of gardening projects, and as you see, my favorite little bucket is completely full of compost or soil that I have refurbished. I mean, it is filled to the brim. And so those are the Wisteria branches. And let me come from behind the camera. And can you all see those roots in there? So I think they will be fine. But I believe they need, let's see, they need water. And they need to be potted up. I just feel like they are suffering just a tiny bit because they need water. But other than that, they look really good, I believe. Sorry about bumping you guys. I'm stuck in, I'm wedged in here. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take off these lower limbs. I'm going to take the plastic off, and then I'm going to put this in the pot. So let's do that. And I'm going to try not to disrupt these roots. They are very delicate, and you do not want to break any of them off. Let's see. I twisted this on here real good, y'all. Jeez. Did I stick that up under there? How did I get that? I'm gonna have to get the scissors because I think I stuck that up under there. And hopefully these scissors will cut that metal. Matter of fact, I don't want to do that because I will ruin a pair of scissors, and I'm real good at doing that. I will ruin a pair of scissors in a heartbeat. There we go. So I just snipped that. And I'm just going to carefully unravel, hopefully not dig in, hopefully not tear anything up, but carefully unravel that. Oh, and I don't want to, yeah, they're ants. The ants were making a home in the soil. Stupid ants. I know they got to do what they got to do, but come on, ants. Okay, so I'm going to take my scissors, and I know you guys can't see, I pulled it out of the shot, but I'm going to try and take my scissors and cut this bag off and hopefully release this without damaging any roots. Hopefully. Okay. All right. I don't see that any roots were ripped off. Okay, I don't see any roots that were ripped off, but it does have a rooting system. Not as much roots as I would like, but I'm very concerned about this poor baby. So I'm going to get it in some soil. And again, I'm taking off these leaves there because they look a little worse for the wear. So I'm just going to take those off. And again, I do apologize for not bending that down, but I'm trying to let you guys see the actual root. So there you are. Now, because I want to give this the best chance possible, I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut it right up under there. Hopefully not cutting any roots. There we go. Just like so. And I'm going to dip it in a little bit of rooting hormone just to make sure that that bottom can possibly get some roots. All right. Now it normally would root, and you don't have to do this, but I want to make sure, well no, I'm going to leave it because all that little white stuff right there, that's where roots are going to come up. So I'm going to put this in my bucket. So let's move around and let me show you the bucket. I've already prepared my bucket, so hang on one second. The bucket has just some leaves in it, a little bit of wood chip at the bottom. I went and picked up a compost, a little bit of compost. That's my compost with the chicken manure and everything in there. I'm just going to put a little bit of that in the bottom, not a lot. Just a tiny, just a smidgen. That way the roots have somewhere to go. and then they can get into that goodness down in the bottom. So I'm going to put some of that spent soil in that bucket, like so. And then I am going to plant this wisteria and I know you guys can't see that all too well, so let me move that closer to you so that you can see it, because I want you to have a good visualization. So I got to move my tools out of the way. There we are. Now this is not a trowel, this is a scoop. So just in case anybody was like, what in the world? That's a scooper, that's not a trowel. And I'm just going to scoop some more soil inside of this bucket. There we go, just like so. All right, now I'm going to make a spot over here on the further side. I'm going to gently place this in that hole, just like so. And I'm just going to gently firm it up. I'm not going to do any major firming up because I do not want to harm those roots. And I'm going to do the same thing to the other one. So let's go and look at that. We are over here looking at the other wisteria. So let's see if I can get this out of there like the other one. This one has a couple of limbs that are kind of going all catawonky every which way. So I'm going to take and do the same thing I did with the other one. I'm going to cut this little, you guys can't see, sorry about that, y'all. I keep wanting to take it out of shot. That way I'm not disrupting anything. But I do apologize for that. There we are. And I'm just going to take this off as gently as I can. I do not want to disrupt, again, those roots inside of here. And as you can see, I tried to make sure that it was secure, so I've wrapped it quite well. I got to figure out how to get it unraveled. And again, sorry you guys, I'm trying to turn it. This is not a good camera shot, but these branches on this one kind of go in some competing directions. All right, got that off. Looks like there's a pretty good root in there. I'll show you all what that looks like as soon as I cut this bag off. I need to grab my scissors. And again, I do apologize, but this has limbs going every which way. So I am just going to see if I can slice this bag in an area where it doesn't appear to have any roots. And I'm just wanting to cut it off and not get any roots. Let's see. Uh-oh. Yeah, it's got some nice roots in there. Can you guys see that root at the top? So I'm just trying to figure out, because again, this bag is I'm sorry, these leaves are going every which way, and it's not straight up and down. But I'm dropping soil all over the ground. I'm gonna have to get that soil up and save that. Let's see. Trying not to pull anything. I just want to release it, and I hope you guys can see I am trying really hard to be delicate here. And in doing so, I am taking this out of the shot. And it looks like a piece of wisteria was trying to grow. Let's see. Uh-oh. I accidentally ripped off a root on this one. Dang it. I'm going to take this leaf off. And some wisteria was growing from off of that little piece that was right there. I got to get this off. You know what? I'm not even going to worry about getting that off. I am going to cut this up as far as I can and cut this off without cutting roots, which does seem a little trying. There we go. Now that has a much better root system, so I'm really glad that I decided to go ahead and take it. So I am going to put this in the pot. Hang on one second. Wisteria is just wrap around itself. There we go. There's like a little older last year's branch that wrapped itself around. There we are. All right. See, it's not straight, it's very crooked. You've got a limb going out that way, and you've got a limb going out that way. So I'm going to put this in the soil now. So let's swing around. Hang on. Let's swing you guys around. Hope you all weren't dizzy. I know people comment about camera moving too fast. I'm not a professional. This is what I do for fun. It's all fun. All right, I made a hole. I am putting this in the hole like so. And I'm just going to lightly firm around, just lightly. And I am going to have to stake this up because wisteria grows and grows, and it needs a firm foundation in order to grow. And that's why in that wisteria pot I have a tomato cage, and I wasn't really thinking about it, but it grew up in that tomato cage, and I'm gonna have to cut that tomato cage away from it when I take it to its permanent home, because it's gonna have to be, I'm gonna put it in the ground, and it's gonna have to be cut out of there. All right, so put more soil, and again, lightly firming around the wisteria, because I do not want to push too hard and break those roots. But I am going to firm the soil around the edge of the pot, and I'm actually going to put more soil. But here's what I want to do. I've got an area here where I pulled off a branch or a leaf. I'm going to put a little bit of rooting hormone right there and see if I can get this puppy to root, just for fun. It's an experiment. All right, I'm going to put a little bit more soil in there because I want to make sure that it has enough soil, and then I'm going to top it off with some wood chip because that's how it's going to stay moist. And I'm going to put this in a partially shaded area so that it doesn't get full sun, and give it an opportunity to seriously root down in this pot and begin to put on growth. But all right, everybody, this is my wisteria, and it's looking real crazy. So I'm going to go and get a stake, and I'm going to stake it up. And so I'll show you what that looks like in just a moment after I have an opportunity to stake it up. This is my very first successful AirLayer, and I hope you guys can see her. She is a wisteria, and I will put a description of the type of wisteria she is in the description box below. When I bought that plant that I took her off of, the mother plant, the plant was much smaller and much thinner than what you see right here. It was a tiny little bitty bush. It was a stick. And so now I have created my very own second wisteria. There are 2 branches in there, and so that is going to be a beautiful addition to the garden. I truly feel like I have won the plant lottery today. I'm so excited about that AirLayer. I just don't know what to do with myself. And over here, I just want to show you guys a quick peek. Those are 2 pineapple. They are rooted. They've got nice root systems on them. and I potted them up in a pot. The centers are growing. They do have a little bit of damage because I did throw it into the compost bin, and I realized, oh, I could try to grow pineapple, and I fished it out. But it's alive, and it does have roots on it. So I will keep you updated over the next 2 years, if I'm still on YouTube that long, as to how those pineapples are doing. But yes, my two beauties for today, my pineapples over there in the corner and my gorgeous wisteria. I am so happy today. Has decided to pop up on the front patio. This one is not going to get as large as the one in the back, because when they poured the slab for this patio, which runs the full length of the front from the driveway all the way to the front door, they left concrete in this front garden bed. So this is not going to get as large, but look at that beautiful flower, you guys. It has 4 flowers on it already, it looks like. 2 are open, and I see 1, maybe 2 that are not open. I could be wrong, it may just be 1 that's not open. But this puts out so many flower seed pods or seed pods. The back one, I think that back one probably has about 20 or more seed pods, and in that seed pod there has to be 30 or more seeds in there. I mean, it is just, I don't know what I'm going to do with all those seed pods. So when I harvest those seed pods, if my subscribers are interested in having some of these seeds, let me know and I will definitely ship them out to you.